What is up, comic book fans? Thank you so much for coming back to the local comic podcast. This is the Absolute Show, and we are here with you just like we are every single week. Sorry about that. And as always, it is me, your boy Travi, TrekWars. I am here, ready to talk some cool things happening on the old Absolute Universe. But as always, we got to introduce my man, Phil Rebel. What's up, brother?
Yo, 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 what's up, man?
How was your week?
Snow hit us. Was that this week? It's all a blur.
Yeah.
Life's just a blur. Snow hit us this week, I believe it was this week. We had 2 days out. Wednesday, Thursday, which means books were out. So I did a lot of reading.
Yep.
So it was good.
Yeah, I did some reading. This is the classic Phil and Travis. This is the classic Phil and Travis conundrum. So what'll happen is one of us will get really into a series, and the other one will be like, "All right, I got to catch up," and then the other one will catch up all the way and surpass the person who told them originally about the series, and then be like, "Why haven't you caught up yet?" And that's exactly where we are with New Gods.
I am disappointed because there's, I don't know if you know, it's part of your news. We'll get to it later.
Yeah.
But there's a nice treat at the end of New Gods 3. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah, Lefteros mentioned something about that
Okay.
on a like I don't know any details, but
Right.
he mentioned something about a nice little something something at the end there for everybody. So yeah, I'm interested to hear or see what that was. Unfortunately, I went to pick up all of my books this week, and there were a few missing. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get to read New Gods, but I'm hoping to read it very soon. I can't remember if I ordered one from an online shop or not. I don't know if it was part of my last order. I need to check that, but hopefully that should get here soon.
You got books just floating in the wind.
I know. I don't even know where they are, and I'm sure I bought duplicates yesterday because I had this problem with the Absolute stuff. Is like I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna order it, so I know I'll have it here. And then I'll go to the shop and they'll be like, yeah, we pulled your Absolute books. And I'm like, great. I'll buy them again. Thanks.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll take doubles. I don't care. So there's also a new little mini scavenger hunt I'm on the hunt for the Absolute Universe that I will share with you later, because it is it's an interesting one. It's not like anything that's crazy. It's just not going to be easy to find. So anyway, yeah. So any cool things? Any new books? Well, obviously you read some new books this week. What jumped out?
What
were
did
you
I
most happy
read?
about?
Because we didn't have a Absolute book this week. I read the newest issue of Ultimate Wolverine, which I know you haven't read either, and you're behind on that. You should be reading it. As far as everyone else, great, nice little take with Wolverine. I read all 3 New Gods, like we said, we caught up on that. What else did I read? I read something else. It's going blank in my head. There's something else, but I can't remember it.
How are you feeling about New Gods?
I like it. The 3rd issue is by far the best issue for me. The first 2 has a lot going on, but then the 3rd, it finally makes it clear what's like actually going on for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy it. It's there's a lot going on, but I like it.
I think the whole like kit and caboodle with the New Gods thing is just cool. It's just cool. It always has been cool, and since I have only read up to issue 2, I am going to say how cool was that first kind of intro of our new big baddie, kind of showing up at the end of Apocalypse. You know what I mean? Like just looking like a bad dude. And again, he may not be a bad dude. I might not have a clue what's going on because I haven't caught up. So,
well, you got to catch up.
Anything back issue fun wise did you get this week, or did you just go all new this week?
Everything was new except for last week. They didn't have. I think we talked about it. They didn't have that Jim Lee Absolute Batman 1 at my shop.
Oh, you got that, didn't you?
They had it this week, so I don't know what was up with that. So I picked up a copy of that. So that was an old thing, but everything else is this week. My favorite book, if anyone's following me on Rebel Recess, was the Ahsoka #8.
Great
Takashi
cover.
Takashi cover, I think.
Yep.
It's an awesome cover. I want it tattooed on me. It's all
Yeah,
so
probably
good.
see a nice little open spot on the wall right back there in that back
Well,
corner
yeah,
there.
right
Where,
over
yeah,
here.
where
Yeah,
it
we
should
got
probably
we
should
got
go there.
room. Yeah, probably.
So yeah, no Swamp Thing books this week. But
Yeah, you're in a drought.
yeah, I'm getting back on it though. We're gonna get back there. Probably won't get any more $34 slabs, but we're getting back. Yeah, so I didn't get much in the way of back issues either. I picked up a couple dollar bin grabs. I grabbed another couple copies of the Hellboy Free Comic Book Day book from this past Free Comic Book Day because whatever, they were in good shape. They were actually just stuffed in a long box without any bag or board or anything like that. And I was
It's
like, I'm probably not gonna
crazy
buy
when I
these.
see a book like that.
That's what a lot of the dollar bins at this shop are, and so I'm like, I don't usually buy much out of them, but I was like, well, they got a whole stack of them. Surely I can find a handful that were in decent shape, and like they're not like they're not a key or anything. I just
Um,
it's whatever. I saw them and I like them, so I'll grab them. I also got there was an old Dead Men series that came out, and I think it was like the '90s. Some crazy looking art, but the book's pretty beat, but I don't have it. Like it's on my list. I have it saved to a bunch of like my eBay and stuff like that, but I just never have pulled the trigger on it, and it's kind of beat, but whatever. It was $1, and so I picked it up. But as far as new books, I went and got a couple of the Absolute books. I grabbed Zatanna #1, cover A and B. I'm really excited about that. Haven't read it yet, but picked that up and picked up Doom Academy. Cover A and B. I picked up the one with just his face on it. It was a sweet cover. Transformers 17, first appearance of I'm forgetting his name. He's the first new Transformer in forever. Good lord, what's his name?
why am I saying shipwreck? It ain't shipwreck, is it?
No. He's made out of a truck. He looks like my truck actually.
What's
Um
his name?
oh gosh. Now we're doing it. New Transformer.
Yeah, and we're already forgetting. Look at us, comic show here. We already forgetting characters.
Oh my god. What's his name? We just talked about him. Like this week, we just talked about him. Oh, this is gonna drive me bonkers. Um, for an all new. Tell us who the character is.
That was last week's or this week's book.
I think it might have been last week. I don't know. It was Transformers #17.
I think it was last week.
This is great content. By the way,
Fantastic content.
thank you all for hanging out with us. I know somebody
Shredhead.
Shredhead. My God.
Yeah, I said shipwreck.
Yeah.
I was close.
The
He's issue 18 is his first cover appearance. So
Yeah. Probably want to grab
Yeah.
that one too.
Yeah.
I think I've resigned myself. I think that one's just going on the subscription list at this point. I'm tired of trying to track down back issues. I have an incomplete collection. I'm
Yeah,
reading it.
I bought the first couple of that and read the first couple. Then something happened. I stopped and didn't get back in it.
Yeah.
I love
It's
Transformers.
it's still good too. I mean, like I said, I went back and read Void Rivals 1 through 6, and I didn't read that for a very long time. I read the first one when it first came out and read a couple of those issues, but I went back and read 1 through 6 and was like, man, I got to get back into this universe. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I've fallen behind on that one and Ghost Machine, so I need to get back on both of those. So hopefully I've sorted out my subscription issues and should be able to keep up with them now a little better. But yeah. So yeah, I got that one, and I think that's about it. I didn't get a ton this week. Just picking up the rando books for the most part. So waiting for Batman 158. Oh, Batman news.
Batman news.
He's back.
No.
Matt Fraction's writing a book.
That's crazy.
I haven't seen his name in anything.
No.
And he was like one of the biggest when we were like kind of, both of us were kind of like strongly
Yeah.
getting back into comics back in the early 2010s. So yeah, Matt Fraction will be writing the new Batman series, and I think they're going to renumber it, right? That's what it sounds like.
I think so.
And I don't know when it's supposed to start, but they've already released what the new suit is going to look like. We're getting a new blue and gray suit, which I know for
Love the blue.
Yeah, I
love
do
the
too.
blue.
I know that can be a contentious topic, but I am a
Yeah.
fan of the blue. So we're getting a new blue and gray suit, and was it George Jimenez who is going to be doing the art, I believe?
Yes.
And he's great, fantastic, and so that's exciting. Dude, DC, they're just putting their money where their mouth is, really, when it comes to these creators. I mean, they're going out and they're just being like, we want writers that know what we like. We want writers that know the subject, that are going to do a good job, that have always done a good job. And now they're bringing writers that, again, I haven't seen Matt Fraction in forever. And if he's been working on something and I've missed it, then that's just my own ignorance.
I
But I
haven't.
haven't seen anything.
I mean, my last big thing was this Hawkeye.
Yeah,
That was a while ago.
yeah, he was writing Hawkeye, Sex Criminals.
Oh, and Sex Criminals. Those
Yeah,
two things.
and he was writing Fantastic Four for a while. That's actually a book I have signed, was his Fantastic Four #1, which wasn't a crazy. I mean, it was a fun run, but that's one of my favorite ones. Is he like drew like a speech bubble around Mr. Fantastic and wrote Travis or something like that. It was cool. It was a cool thing. I like it. Yeah. So yeah, that was not a name I was expecting to pop up in my feed this week. Just because he's just been kind of gone. Overall, that's exciting. So sort of DC related, sort of some DC related stuff. So that's cool. Not necessarily absolute, but are we sure? Because could cross over any time. So
At any moment.
any moment. So, all right. Well, I'm not going to keep us any longer on the thing unless you've got anything else cool that you got a hold of this week that doesn't necessarily need to be a comic book.
I also got that Doom book too, the Doom Academy.
Oh yeah. I wasn't going to get it, and then they had a few copies there, and I was like, whatever. I'll just get it. I don't care. So. Anyway, all right, well, without further ado, we don't have a book this week, as some of you may know if you're keeping up. So this is going to be a straight news episode, but we always cover the release schedule in the rundown, so let's jump to it. Let's go. All right, let's do this. I am just loving having the DC catch-up day off of my release schedule so that we can actually cover continuously new releases now. So every time I take a couple off, I get to add a couple more, and that's a great feeling. So coming up, and you can actually even see on the slide, we got some of these covers showing for you. I left the Green Lantern one because every time I look at it, I find something I like more about it. So the Green Lantern one's staying on there for this week. I don't care. So we've got Absolute Wonder Woman #5 coming out on the 26th. That is this week for all of you keeping count and listening. It will be this Wednesday. You can get Absolute Wonder Woman #5, and God knows what's going to happen, and Lord only knows what she's going to cut in half. So super pumped about that. Absolute Superman #5 will drop on March 5th. Absolute Batman no, it won't. I didn't change the date again. What is wrong with me? It's Absolute Superman #5 will drop on March 12th. I'm sorry, everybody. March 12th, because it's delayed.
Batman and Superman same day.
Batman and Superman same day. So, set some time aside. Phil's calling in. He won't be at school.
I'll be there a little late.
So yeah, Batman and Superman are dropping both on the 12th. And then the 19th, we got a big day, especially if you're reading New Gods. So New Gods #4, Absolute Green Lantern #1, and Absolute Flash are all slated to drop on March 19th. So, big day. So you're in back-to-back weeks. You're getting Batman, Superman 1 week, and then you're getting New Gods, Green Lantern, and Flash all in the next week. So you got a good bit of reading to do there. So up until that rounds out our original. What we had on last week's rundown upcoming release schedule. We got 2 new books this week to talk about on the release schedule. But any of those up through Absolute Flash #1 you're really pumped about. I mean, Batman 6 is supposed to wrap everything up, right? So
That's the big one.
yeah. So Superman 5, I don't know what's going to happen. There's just no time. I think we're just all just going to have to be along for the ride on that one. New Gods 4, I'm excited about. Need to read New Gods 3 and see why I'm excited about it. And then Green Lantern 1 and Flash. So again, I go back to, we've talked about this. I'm a Green Lantern guy. We went through that, but still, just Flash feels like a big book. It feels like they're positioning it to be a big book. So, so that's where we're at there. And then now newly added to the release slate this week, we have Absolute Wonder Woman #6 and Absolute Martian Manhunter #1. And I have already looked at some of the solicitations for number 2, and let me tell you, the wacky art is still here.
Good.
So I think this might be how this book is going to look.
I'm
And
excited.
that is cool.
The art is what's got me more than anything.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I'm so excited about that book kind of being something a little more offbeat, you know? Because again, we talked about like what direction could they have gone in besides Martian Manhunter, and you could have done a number of things. You could have been like, you could have went with, Green Arrow or something like that, and it would have been
Shazam!
Shazam. Yeah, absolute Shazam. It's just Black Adam.
Yeah.
It's just the Black Adam book. But no, I don't know. I think this was a cool decision, and I personally love Martian Manhunter, but I know that probably was like for most fans, they probably been like, oh, that's a weird choice, but I think it's the right choice. I'm excited about it, and then seeing the art and seeing the covers, how could you not be excited about it? This is cool. I'm excited to see how it's going to look. Yeah, I don't know. It's just cool. It's cool. Still, Flash is my most excited about the new one, just because it feels big. But once we get in here and start reading them, we never know. We might find out that Green Lantern is the most entertaining one of all of them. So, anyway, so yeah. So you still is Martian Manhunter still your number 1 here?
Yeah, I think so. Of the new ones, just because of that art.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just go with Martian Manhunter.
Well, you can't agree with me because I know you want to say
No, I
Flash.
can't. But I mean, we might as well say it with the Flash. New Gods 3
Really?
had a preview at the end.
Oh.
So it's just like 2 or 3 pages of Flash. So that's is that his first appearance now?
I
Does the
guess it
preview
is.
count? So do I need to go get New Gods 3 because I don't have the actual copy?
Oh, yeah, you should probably get it.
Yeah, see that changes everything now. Yeah, so that preview. Oh, can we spoil it? Can I talk about it?
Go
Can I say
ahead.
something?
I don't care.
It's not nothing really except we saw the picture. We saw the picture where we talked about last week where he's like screaming or he
Yep.
looks whatever. So it's basically that shot is on the second page. He's like he's obviously traveled to another place like
Yep.
he normally does. And he's screaming and he's got all these thoughts. All these thoughts are on the page. And he says something, I should have did what she told me or did it how she taught me. And then, so he's obviously somewhere he shouldn't have been. He knows he made a mistake. And then it goes back 2 days later, and it just shows him 2 days before wherever we get. So it doesn't really reveal anything. We just know that whatever he does within those 2 days, he's not where he wants to be. So we'll see what that means.
I'm excited. I'm intrigued now because
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's exciting. So yeah, be fun.
Yeah. So officially his first appearance, I guess.
Yeah.
A preview. New Gods
There
3.
you go. There you go. Go get New Guards 3, but after I get it, please. But yeah, all right. Well, there you go. So yeah, Flash is gonna be a big book. There's just no doubt about it. But yeah, so that's all we have on the upcoming release schedule. I'm obviously very excited about Absolute Batman. I think this is gonna be fun. I have some interesting news regarding Batman coming up on the news slides. I think that Batman so far is it's the first arc that's really truly coming to a close, I think, and I'm excited to see what the ending of this is going to look like, because we're not going to get just like a clean ending where there's not going to set up something else, right? And we know where we're headed over the next 3 issues or so. I just want to say something.
Say it.
I know that the solicitation has pushed everybody into thinking we're getting more Joker in this Absolute Batman number 6. I still don't buy it.
He didn't say that though, did he?
It said you would have to be mad to miss this
Right.
issue.
Yeah, and you know what people say the whole time? I always think of, when I hear the word mad, I think of the Mad Hatter, so I don't even think of Joker.
Well, it's funny you say that, because the news that's coming up, I got a little something that I didn't put on the slide that I wanted to mention.
Oh,
So-
see, I'm the smart one here.
Yeah, see, I don't know if we're overanalyzing what they meant by mad.
They're overanalyzing, not us.
Right.
We are on it.
Well, I'm just not sure because the solicitation doesn't clearly give anything away. It just says you'd have to be mad to miss this issue,
Right.
and I'm kind of like, I don't, I don't know, I don't know. So, and Snyder officially said that they would be giving more information about the Joker in issue 7. So
Right. That's what I
he
remember.
he may have misspoke, but I don't believe that. It just doesn't I don't think that happened.
Right.
So again, I think everybody should brace yourself if you're looking for Joker stuff. I think you should all just brace yourself in for the event that maybe it doesn't happen, because I'm not entirely convinced that's what they meant with on the solicitation. I'm just not sure. I could be wrong, but I'm just not sure. So, we'll see. But anyway, anything to add on the release schedule? You're just ready to get going, man. You're just excited.
I just want to read. Just want to read. And back to that Batman. I think, call me crazy. I think it might be my favorite cover of the
The
books.
the number
Number
6.
6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one with him falling
I
with
just
the fire
love when
behind
it
it.
uses that red. It just red on a comic book just looks good.
But you know what we didn't mention in the last episode about reviewing Batman was how he fought with that dude stuck to his spikes on his back.
Yeah,
He
I was
literally
all
like
over the place.
he literally fought a guy with a dude stuck on his back.
It's
He's so
so good.
brutal. It's so brutal. I love it.
But,
It's so good.
but but that cover I think it might be my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's probably, I'm trying to think of all the covers here. It's up there. It's one of the best, I think. Because I think as far as the cover A's are concerned, I think a lot of the variants have been better than the cover A's. Not knocking Nick Dragotta at all, because he's
Right.
been amazing, but just the covers, I think some of the variants have been better, or the later printings, I should say.
Yeah.
So like Dragotta's second printing of issue 1, I sort of liked better than the first one, even though the first one's a classic. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just,
Yeah.
the later printings have been really good. So I don't know, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it's up there. Number 6 is pretty solid. It's definitely top 2 or 3 for me, and it might be 1. I'm not sure. I'd have to really go back and look at them, but it's up there. It's a pretty striking cover. Superman number 5 cover is pretty sick too. That's the one where the Krypton's exploding behind him, and it's like going into like his arms as they're glowing and stuff. And so yeah, it's pretty cool too. But yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, all right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the news, and we will talk about aftermarket. All right. Hey, we have an aftermarket slide this week, but not the one you're thinking. So in cover prices top 10 and runners up top 20, we have one absolute book making an appearance, and it is Absolute Wonder Woman number 1 again, and just it creeps its way back up in there once a month. It
Yeah.
seems like now, because we had the random week where all of them fell off and Wonder Woman showed up in like the top 10, and yeah, so hits the runners up list at number 12. Yeah, it is what it is. Great cover, dead Pegasus, all good things. But yeah, kind of a weird one, I thought.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's
I don't know.
it's it's weird how it.
Did you
Yeah, I don't know.
since we always end up going down this rabbit hole, let's do it. Did you have anything on the top
I
20?
fell back to my normal self this week because last week I had nothing.
Yeah.
This week I had that Daredevil. I think it's the Born Again run.
Oh, the 227?
So because I bought that because I was gonna get.
Is that the one you were going to get signed?
I got 2 of them, and then I ended up going with the first appearance, Kingpin in a Daredevil issue,
Okay.
which was. It's got Kingpin where he's grabbing Daredevil.
Yeah, and that's
Like
the
he's
one you
on.
had signed by
That's the one I went
Vincent
with.
D'Onofrio, right?
Yeah. But Charlie didn't show up, so I gotta go hunt down Charlie. So I
Yeah.
have both of those. So I have that book, and then I have.
Charlie
I still bought
Charlie Cox, if you're listening, I want you to
Yeah.
know my guy went through the convention center screaming. I love.
He was
Ben
my main one that I wanted.
He said, "I love Ben Affleck all day long." That's all he kept saying.
Hey, that Daredevil movie is better the more I watch it.
Oh,
So I do have
good.
that. I have that book, and then I'm still mad at by the Spider-Man, but then I also have in the 11 to 20, uh, the Wonder Woman. Being you both got the Galactus Marvel Rivals variant,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have Who doesn't have a Spawn one? If you don't have
Me,
a
I
Spawn
sold
one,
mine.
you can get another one.
Yeah,
And
no.
then Lethal Weapon or Venom. Yeah, the Venom Lethal
Lethal
Weapon.
Protector.
Lethal
Yeah,
Protector
yeah.
weapon.
I
I was
have, I
watching
have,
Lethal Weapon recently. That's why I
I,
said that.
I have that one too, but it's got pages cut out of it.
Oh, we had a bunch of them as kids. Like that was always a
Yeah.
book you would saw and you bought, and then
Yep.
it's one of those glossy,
S-
cover foil, so
So
it's
I need to tell the
ding.
story about the cut up Lethal Protector. You know this. You know this story. So my father-in-law, who absolutely is the biggest rock star granddad of all time, um, he he got a stack of old comic books from somebody, and was like, my son is obviously very big into comic books. He knows just about any character you put in front of him. He's memorized the DC and Marvel encyclopedias. Like the kid's he knows more. He knows more characters on site than I do at this point. And so my father-in-law goes, I'm going to make him a stool, and I'm just going to cut out some pages out of these junk comic books, and use some Mod Podge and make a stool covered in comic book cutouts, right? And so these are just junk, like dollar bin issues. Well, somehow, some way, a pretty good shaped copy of Venom Lethal Protector somehow got in there, and I don't know how. I didn't see it the first time I looked through those, and I was looking at the stool. I was like, "Wow, man, this looks great!" And I flip it over, and I see a cutout from a panel from that was 100% from that book, and I said, where did you get this?" And he said, "It was that one Venom book." And I was like, I know. Where's the book? What did it look like?" And he goes, "Oh, it was shiny. It had like a shiny cover." I was like, "You didn't."
You blew it.
Oh, and we still joke about it to this day. It was just one of those things. And he was like, "No, no, no, I didn't cut anything out of this one." And I said, "Yes, you did." And I opened it up, and it was just where Venom was supposed to be. There was just a cutout hole in the page. Oh, it was brutal. It was so brutal. It was bad enough that I immediately sent you a picture. I said, "Phil, what book do you think this picture came out
I
of?"
guessed it, didn't
You
I?
did. You were
I
dead on. You were
did.
like, "Is that from Lethal Protector?" And I said, "Yeah." And then you screamed no.
That's crazy. And now here it is on number 20.
Yep, number 20. And so for me, I am sitting here at one. I got the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, so there's one. I also have the Wonder Woman and the Galactus, so there's 2 and 3. And then I don't have anything else. I really wish I did have that Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
Galactus, If This Be
Who
Doomsday. That's just my.
who
I love that.
doesn't
It's such a
wish they
good book.
had that?
Yeah, I almost bought it once, and then I didn't pull the trigger, and now I'm really not gonna buy it. So
Well,
anyway,
after the movie flops, you'll
yeah.
go drop a
Don't say
price.
that. Don't
It
say
won't flop. I was just setting everyone up thinking I think that because I don't.
that. Well, I'm glad you're back to your old ways of having multiple books on the top 10, and the runners-up list. So that's awesome.
It's the only thing that keeps me whole every week. I gotta. If I don't have it, I feel less of a man.
I feel like you're not doing your job, man.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, that's all the aftermarket news we have. So let's move on to some absolute news and something from our fearless leader, Mr. Scott Snyder, who sat down for an interview with CBR this week and discussed the big plans for DC Absolute Universe in 2025. So, before I get your thoughts on this, he confirms that the first crossover with Absolute will occur this year, and we already know it's been kind of hinted at with the Free Comic Book Day stuff, and Jeff Lemire kind of saying that in his newsletter from last week's episode. But Scott said it's not going to be all the heroes. You know, we're going to see some interact with others, and which ones it'll be will still be a secret. But he also said something interesting along the lines of finding out that some of the villains that we've seen so far are actually more connected to each other than we think. And I found that interesting because then that really got my wheels turning and made me wonder, how is, you know, this, big gigantic monster coming out of the sea linked to the party animals, or how are the party animals linked to Brainiac, or how is Brainiac linked to the Joker? Like, what is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, are we getting like, is there potentially like an absolute dark Justice League going on here, where this is where my head went. I was like, so in the Absolute Universe, we have the Justice League who are out here. I mean, it's like the Injustice League, like that we're used to, like with Ultraman and Owlman and all those people. We're getting that, but we're getting it with our current baddies. I mean, what's like it's an interesting thought, I think.
I agree, and that makes me want to look up what's the opposite of absolute? What's the word for that? What's the word?
Relative.
Relative. So are we gonna get the relative league?
I don't know if that one pops.
It doesn't sound as good. The relative league. It just made me think of that.
I mean, I'm thinking in terms of mathematics. I don't know.
Yeah, well.
Oh my God, that's gonna strike fear into anybody. That's really gonna make Wonder Woman.
If it happens, I called it here first.
It's really gonna make Wonder Woman shaking her boots. I'm telling you. The what?
Oh.
Did you guys crowdsource that name? That's pretty brutal. But yeah, no. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. My wheels just started turning when I read that, because I'm like, okay, how are they interconnected though? Is the Joker in charge of all of this? Like,
yeah, I don't see how they are connected, to be honest. To say them, like, how would you even connect these things?
right. It's an interesting thought. I think. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be fun to watch what he means by that. He also states, and I'm trying to pull the article right now, but and I will say who wrote the article, because that's important. But he also states that we're going to get more of a look into Batman's Absolute Rogues Gallery, including, and he names, where's it at? Hang on. He names Mad Hatter.
Hey, look at me.
Man-Bat, Hugo Strange, and Arkham. Right?
Yeah.
And he said you're also going to learn about Bane. Bane comes in, and Bane's origin in the Absolute Universe is brand new. It says, but it speaks to the old one. It's very much in conversation with who he's always been, but it just makes him even bigger and more dangerous, in my opinion. So he's scarier, bigger, tougher, and smarter. And you'll even see a little bit of Deathstroke and how he has a history with this universe's Alfred.
Ooh, I like that. Alfred and Deathstroke were going at it back in the day.
So, and I'm just going to give credit real quick. This article, this is on CBR, and the article was written by C.M. Ramsberg. So they did a great job here. It's published about 4 days ago. So yeah, it's on there. It's got a lot of good stuff that Scott's talking about here, and he gives a lot of good information. I think I think this was at MegaCon, yeah, so he did say ultimately in 2025 the characters will cross paths and start to create relationships with each other. So I do think that what we were saying, it was either in the last episode, or the episode before, that we are truly going to get a slower burn here. I think we're going to build this universe, and they're really literally treating it like a brand new universe. They're treating it like, hey, we're building these stories, because if you just throw a bunch of random people together, then it is just some random new Justice League with just a different take. But if you're actually doing this world building, it's going to matter more, right? So for me, it's exciting. And the one thing that I really like that he mentions, he said something about the idea of comics reclaiming superheroes as its own. And he mentioned how so much of the superhero world has been largely pushed because of movies and television and the influx of cash, and ultimately that's been an absolute godsend for the comic industry. But as we all know, it's becoming popular to sort of hate on superhero movies. It really is. I mean, anytime a new superhero movie drops, you can go and look at the reviews, and you can be like, all right, before I even click on here, there are going to be about 15 horrendous reviews, and this movie might actually be good.
No.
Well, I'm
When
not
you
talking.
keep making bad ones,
Well, I'm not.
it
I'm not
starts.
talking. I'm not talking specifically about the really bad ones. I'm talking about the ones that were pretty good, or that were fairly solid. But
Has been a minute.
well, again, I'm not. I'm just saying, it has become a thing, and I think some of the fatigue is certainly setting in, especially with critics and people who aren't diehard comic fans. The fatigue is certainly setting in, but to expect, I think, every single one to drop to be the best one yet is silly by any stretch.
Oh, we could dissect. We could. This is a whole nother
It
pod. We could
is, it is,
dissect.
and it's come up a
Cause I,
lot with the one that just came out.
yeah, we can dissect that all day.
Right.
But with you're going along with taking back in the comics or whatever. I think especially for, I mean, and because it's me, I'm biased maybe, but like the Batman stuff. Like if you are a fan of Batman or super, like I don't know how you would not. I mean, this book is amazing, and like all the characters you just dropped. So if you're a Batman fan, you know all those characters, and you're gonna know you're gonna get a different twist on it. Like I'm more excited about this book than Batman 2, the movie coming out. Like I'm getting something new and different, and it's constant. Like we live in the world where everyone wants to just stream stuff, whatever. But just take your time, read a book.
Yeah.
The story's continuing. Like they are doing the right thing to bring you back as a reader to go to the shop and invest time in these characters because it's really good. Like
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have like unanimous. It is unanimous. Just about it's almost across the board. Even people that say, well, this one I wasn't really feeling this one, but it was good, right? And then by and large, the majority of what you're seeing when it comes to this universe is every book has been great. This is incredible. It's a great ride. Like you can pick up any one of them and love them. You don't have to read all of them. You should, but you don't have to. And you can guarantee if you pick up any one of them, you're going to enjoy it. Now, I will say this full on. If you do not have an interest in some of the Superman ethos, you're just going to have to hang around on Superman 5 because well, I'm sorry, but on Absolute Superman. Sorry. I'm just thinking about the issue that's coming up. Because in issue 5, we're probably going to go back to Krypton. And so if like that Krypton stuff doesn't interest you,
Right.
it's not going to be your favorite issue probably. But if it does, and again, if you're watching Superman, like that's always some of the most fun stuff. At least for me, as someone who's read Superman for a long time, anytime we get time on Krypton and it's something new and fresh, yes, let's see more. I want to see more. But I do like that. I do like that he's saying that like you know he said DC still owned by Warner Brothers, but people understand that comics are separate from the movies, and the movies, at least on the DC side, have sort of taken a break, and until obviously July, and so they found a nice little soft spot in studio release schedule, and decided, hey, this is the time to do this, and we're going to go all in on it. We're going to go DC all in special on this, and we're going to release these books, and we're going to give new takes on these characters, and we're going to really create like legit comic buzz, like Marvel style legit comic buzz. And again, I'm a DC guy all day, but Marvel said we're bringing back the Ultimate Universe, and everybody lost their mind.
Everyone starts losing their minds.
Right, exactly. But like DC could do something like that at times, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, whatever, dude. It's probably another new 52. That'll work great. 3 good books out of 52. Can't wait for that." So there were better. There were more than 3 good books in the new 52. Let's not trip. They were fine. Uh, I will fight. I will fight anybody. I will fight anybody on that. I do think that they really were like, if we're going to do this, we need to do it the right way, and we need to truly create a separate universe where we're not retelling the main continuity. We're not, we're quite literally going to have the freedom to do what we want. And I think that they've timed this perfectly. I mean, they like the Ultimate Universe started a little bit earlier in the year, so they didn't sync it up completely. Because then they wouldn't be competing straight up with Marvel's Ultimates. But it turns out they're beating the Ultimate Universe most months. Like most months, most weeks that we get an absolute book drop, it's the number one selling book of the week. Just about every week.
January, they locked up January. Tons of absolute was the top seller of January.
So there's no doubt that what he's saying right here is sort of like taking it back. Like he said something along the lines of, he never thought issue 1 of Absolute Batman would hit 150. Now, come on, Scott, you're being a little modest. I think we all knew it was going to hit 150,000, but issue 4 just hit 150,000. So that's a bigger deal. Like issue 4 hitting 150,000 is totally different than issue 1 doing that. That means whatever you're doing is working, because these recent Absolute Batman issues are not selling for crazy amounts of money. Number 1 is, and some of the variants are, they're selling for a good amount of money for as long as they've been out, surely, but Ultimate Spider-Man did the same thing. So that's not it. The fact is that people are buying these books because they're good. And that's a huge deal, and especially if you can keep it up. And people, it's not just a gritty, fresh take just for the sake of it. It's literally an entire universe building thing. Like they're really getting into building this entire whatever it is, and leading towards something. And you know what? To be honest with you, maybe they don't know where they're going right now. Maybe they know exactly where they would like to end up, but they may not have it all written out in stone right now. You know what I mean? And that's fine. I'm just thrilled to be along for the ride right now, because it's clearly working. And this has certainly revitalized DC. And DC's been on the right trajectory for a couple of years now. I think I saw an article that said, and this is always up for debate, but I saw an article from somebody that said, and I thought it was kind of a humorous article because you don't see it very often, but a guy said, DC hasn't missed in 4 years, and I'm going to prove it to you. And he goes through all the major events for the last 4 years and goes through why they're important and why they worked. And even though encapsulated, those events may not be great reads on their own, the overarching effects that they have on the universe have always been mostly a net positive. And so I thought it was a cool article. Didn't necessarily agree with everything in there, but by and large, DC's, at least for the last several years, has been thought of as sort of an afterthought to Marvel. Certainly in cinematics, but even and to some within the actual within the actual comic books. And so this is a big win, and they realize that, hey, we're going to put our money into our creators. We're going to let our creators build this, and we're just going to trust the people that have won for us in the past, and this is what we're getting. I just went on a huge rant. So,
it was good though.
But yeah, I don't know. We could not be in better hands than we are right now. And I have heard, just like it's popular to hate on superhero movies, I have heard people say that Scott Snyder's Batman runs were overrated, and I was like, you're being a hater.
Oh my goodness! Don't get me started.
You're being a hater, and again, these aren't like personalities online doing this for clicks. These are people that I know, personally, that I talk to about comics, people that local people. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear that, you're like, okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. I can't have this conversation. So. Yeah, I mean, was it the greatest Batman run of all time? Maybe not. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. That's up for debate. But it's one of the better ones in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
So, again, I think we're in such good hands with these creative teams. With not only the storytellers and the writers, but the artists and the entire crews that are working on these books. This is an exciting time, and we're getting ready to expand. And you always worry about, something being watered down, but we're only at 6 books. You can't really water it down, especially if they're all self-contained right now. So, yeah, I mean, is it going to be harder to keep up with from a financial aspect because books are more expensive than they've ever been? Yeah, that's going to suck. I mean, it's just going to cost more money. But from a pure content perspective, this is perfect. This is great. I mean, and you have the ability to just follow this universe as long as you want to from the get go. And he's right. They're taking it back, sort of. They're saying that, hey, if you want the best stories, stop looking at well, I don't want to say that because they're owned by Warner Brothers, but if you want the best stories, stop looking at the screen. Like, quit looking at the big screen. Look at the small screen. You buy it digital if you want to, or go to your shop, like you all should. Go to your LCS and buy it there, right? Go get that book and read it.
Take it to the bathroom.
Right. Because you can, hey, I'll tell you this: you can buy a month's worth of Absolute Batman for still less than you're going to pay to get into a movie. So, might as well do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a rant. I was not planning on having that conversation.
Yeah,
but
don't get upset. Calm down. Sweat on your brow. Relax. It's race day.
Yeah, it's race day. Now I'm really going to get upset when the race starts. Joey Logano dumps his own teammate.
Hey, we got money on him, so I'll take it.
Still, I've watched that. This is off topic, but I've watched that wreck at least 15 times this week.
I've learned you just have to move on.
I've watched it 15 times, and
I don't
know whose fault it is, so I'm just mad at both of them.
Everybody.
I'm mad at Logano and Stenhouse.
It's Bubba's.
Also,
Bubba's.
Also, I put on the post for the last episode that I accurately predicted Ryan Blaney's Daytona 500 wreck 6 to 8 hours before it happened. It always happens. Oh man! But anyway, yeah, it's an exciting thing. This is a great article. I really suggest everybody go read it. It's at CBR, and again, it's written by CM Ramsberg. So great job. If they're listening, great job. Yeah, this is good stuff. There's more in here, and so yeah, he even says. They haven't even announced it yet, but they're going to be doing a special that shows the secret villainous connections from the books and how the villains in a lot of our books, Absolute Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, are actually more connected than you realize. Do it. Let's go. I'm excited. Scott Snyder, you're killing it, and all of the creators over there at DC are killing it right now. Even the ones not in Absolute. Mark Waid, you're killing Justice League, dude. Justice League Unlimited is so good. So now something that I know you're very excited about, and I'm going to sort of let you take the lead on here. Scott Snyder, again, revealed this week on Blue Sky what the new look for our brand new baddie and Absolute Batman is going to be. And if you have been following along with the episode, It's Getting Chilly.
Cold.
We now have the first view of our new Absolute Mr. Freeze, and he looks spoopy.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Way different than that.
Oh man,
Completely different.
For sure.
So I didn't see this till you sent it to me, and I'm in love. It's beautiful. And I'm already moving on. Like, I'm not moving on, but I'm already thinking about all the other characters we haven't seen yet, and because this is different. So now I'm thinking, like you said, Man-Bat. I'm like, well, we've already seen Man-Bat, but like this kind of fits into that realm. And then I'm just wanting to picture like all the different characters, like Bane. What's Bane gonna look like? Because now that we have this twist, this difference, like now I'm like curious to see how he's gonna do these other characters. But this, I don't even know what it is. Like it's like Slender Man meets Goblin.
Slender Chill.
Yeah, like it's incredible. I'm in love with it.
This is the shit you see. This is your sleep paralysis demon.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like where does even the ice part come from? Just by being around it.
I don't know. He's got some stuff sticking in his back right there.
Well, so and that's like that's man-made or it's like that's not organic. So someone's put. So that's the thing. Like, was he created in a lab? Was he born this way? What kind of vat of chemicals did he fall in?
Where's Nora?
Yeah.
Maybe Nora created him.
Like so many questions just by looking at it. Like I want to know, and it kind of has bat features in the face. Like I'm in love with it. I can't wait to see what happens.
I didn't know how you were going to react when I sent it to you, but I was so happy when your only reaction was, "My God."
It's so cool. Like it's again, like this universe. That's what I like about this universe is, because I'm a traditionalist, and people get caught up on that stuff. I think too much. Um, but we recognize this as a separate universe, so do whatever you want. Like just stay true to like the purpose of the character, I guess.
Right. You
And like
weren't.
this doesn't bother me. I love this. I don't know why you would be upset with it. It's not ruining
Well,
the freezes before.
try doing this to Mr. Freeze in the Prime Universe.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah, it's not.
You're going
It's
against
different.
what 70 years of history. Like,
Right. So with the different universes, just do crazy stuff. And like and I think I've read or whatever you like he wants to make it more scary or what like I never thought of Mr. Freeze being scary. Like
maybe that's the point.
that's what's so cool because it's different. That's everything in this universe is just the opposite.
I do need him to
And
just kick the door in and just go, all right, everybody, chill. Chill.
does this thing even talk? It might not even talk. It screeches and like it's just so different. And there's just by looking at it, there's so many questions you have.
So ride with me on this one. When you talked about how different everything looks and you said man bat, I just pictured like an actual bat sized thing, but
Oh,
like a Mighty Mouse bat, but like with
right.
super like human arms. Like, it looks like something that Sid from Toy Story would combine a couple toys in, and that's our new man bat, right? And he's just really annoying. He actually isn't like a super foe. He's just a pain in the ass. He just flies around your
Right.
head. Like
Yeah.
that's where I'm at on that. I think that's Scott, if you're listening, do that. Don't do that. But yeah, no, this is cool. Dude, it is so creepy. When I saw it, I was like, I didn't even, I had not even thought, I didn't give it a single thought. I didn't try to dissect anything. I didn't do anything. I took the picture, or I took the article, I hit copy, I went straight to our conversation and sent it to you and said, I'm not talking about this until I hear what he says.
I love it. And
So
then that image has Batman below it. Batman is just
I had to cut
yelling.
it a little bit, but yeah, he looks like he's getting his ass
He
kicked.
he's just going through it. It's just a great shot. I'm so excited.
By the way, can we all give me a collective pat on the back here for the title for the last episode? Because Bruce got his hind end kicked up and down Gotham City, so the title was "If you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough."
Yeah,
I
that's good.
had that song stuck in my head the whole time as I was as I was doing the edits on that. And I was like, "That's gonna be the title of this episode." So, but yeah, Bruce is going through it a little bit.
And then he's got this thing coming from his nightmares.
This is actually just Bruce's sleep paralysis demon. None of this is happening in real. He's actually in bed.
This might be tied back to the scarecrow. Like this could all just be connected.
We're making all the connections.
The whole story's gonna end with Bruce actually he's been in Arkham the whole time, and this is all a figment of his imagination.
Prime
And
Bruce.
all the yes, and all the characters are around. Yeah, that's what's gonna be. That's what's gonna be.
Oh my god.
It's like Dorothy waking up. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna wake. They're all gonna be there. And
Yeah, that would suck. I hope they don't do that. That would be the worst.
we'll see what happens. Stay tuned.
I always hate the "it's a dream" ending. Oh, come on. But yeah, so yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're excited about it because when I saw it, my eyes just got huge. I was like, "Holy moly, we are all the way live on this. This is crazy." Wasn't expecting that kind of a reveal, and
I mean, it's because Batman has characters like this, and so this takes a character that like like Clayface and Man
sure,
Bat, Killer, like they're monsters per se, I guess. So like, why don't you take a character that's not usually a monster and make them one?
right.
I think
Well,
that's pretty
again,
cool.
was Mr. Freeze really a terrifying villain?
No, that's what I'm saying. I've never like terrified. If anything, if he freezes me, I'm gonna live longer. What am I mad about? He'll thaw me out in 30 years. I'll still be young. Why not?
That poor soul. You'll be young and have sympathy. They'll be like, that poor soul was frozen by
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze 30 years ago.
Demolition Man. What y'all need me for? I'm back.
Oh my God! Have we had 2 Demolition Man episodes and 2
Back to
references in
back.
2
I'm
episodes?
gonna keep it going every week.
Going
Demolition
for our wonderful dinner at Taco Bell.
Man.
Oh my God! All right. Well, so we're moving on, I guess, unless you have anything more about Victor Von
No.
Terrifier.
Well, so what issue is this? 7?
And this is 7.
Yeah, my goodness. Give it to me now.
Going straight into it. Yep. So they are absolutely gonna wrap up Party Animals in the next issue. So a couple weeks and we'll have that figured out. So, yep. Crazy. All right. We got one more, guys, and then we're gonna call it. The DC House ad for Absolute Green Lantern is here, and I found the tagline kind of interesting. It's on the screen there. You can see it. It says, "No core, no ring, absolute guardian." This one is going to be interesting because it looks like she's wearing a ring, and it looks like it.
Maybe it's just a mood ring.
Yeah, maybe. Then she gets the whole spectrum on a single ring. Oh my God, that's a cool idea. I think that would probably technically be. No, that wouldn't be right. Yeah. Anyway. I just thought this was interesting because the no cord, no ring thing. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen there. From what I do understand, there are going to be absolute versions of Hal and John and Guy, and they've already been confirmed. They're going to be in this book. They're going to be a part of this book. And from what I understand, the premise is, of at least this first issue, is that a Green Lantern is going to crash onto Earth, as we all know. Except I believe he's going to crash, or they are going to crash into a populated area. It's going to be a thing, So at least that's kind of how I understood when I read it. So I'm excited to read this book. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I just thought it was interesting that it looks like they're going to go ringless, at least initially. Or are we building the core? Are there no guardians? Is there no Oa? So there's going to be some interesting things that we're going to see here. You would think that if when Darkseid officially died, if he made sure in his new universe that there was no Oa, that would probably help him because, bro don't like the Guardians. It might be, I don't know, maybe there is no Oa, maybe there is no core, maybe the core has to be built. I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens on as far as our new character. And they gave her name, but I don't have it handy. I should have wrote it down, but I did not. They gave her name. I think it's going to be cool to see her interaction with people we traditionally know as lanterns, because if there is no core and there's no ring, there's obviously lanterns, but how do they exist? Are these people that we know to be traditional lanterns, or are they just people? Are we getting fighter pilot Hal Jordan, you know what I mean? And just, are we getting those versions? So it'll be interesting to see. Any thoughts on this?
Not really.
Yeah.
It's all going to be new to me for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the basics and all that stuff, but like you said, no ring, no core. Like, what are we?
Yeah. Right. So that's what that at least has me interested to know how they plan on doing this, unless they're creating the core from scratch, which would be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. So that's about it. That's all we have on the news. So we have managed to still hit right around the normal time mark. Look at that. Didn't even have a book to cover. It's like they know. It's Newsweek because we don't have a book coming out. So yeah. So that's what we got. This week we got Wonder Woman's. How you feeling?
Good. I need another book. I don't like being off a book. I don't like it. I need a book every week.
Well, you're about to have plenty to talk about here soon.
March Madness.
It's crazy. I'm so excited. We got to figure out this draft.
We should have did that this episode.
I know it was.
Well, we can still do it before. When's the first new book come out?
It comes out on. Hang on. It comes out on the 19th.
The 19th. So we need to either do it this coming.
We need to do it either one of the next. Yeah. Well, we can do it on the week of the 5th because Superman is moving.
And we won't have a book, so we're gonna do a draft. Ooh, I'm excited for a draft.
Yeah. Am I gonna be an absolute anarchist and take Batman #1? and
We got to flip a coin, so we got
just
coin
kneecap you
toss.
right off the bat. Just
Yeah. Then
cool. You
I'll
like this
trade.
book? It's mine now.
I'll trade the rest of my draft picks for futures. That happens. The guy we want is not there. We're getting out. We're moving back to
All right.
next year's
So
draft.
we're actually going to do a draft on this show, and we're going to figure out what books live. We are going to, well, sort of live, but we're going to figure out live on the show what we are going to be covering until we get another burst of new titles, and then we'll probably have to redraft again. So that'll be a good way to kind of keep things mixed up for us too, I think. So we're not having to just cover the same book over and over and over again. So yeah, so we'll split the 6, and we'll each have 3 books to cover, and we can talk about new gods and stuff as it kind of pops in and out. Yeah. Well, that's all I got, man. You got anything cool coming up this week?
I've got a little Fortnite play in this week, so I'm trying to get back in that. We got a little new season start up. It's the only thing new going on here. About 2 weeks away from spring break. So that's cool. Counting that down.
I'm waiting for WWE 2K25.
When's that coming?
March. I don't know what day.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Can we wrestle each other? Can we do a career thing together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the next step since somebody quit college football on me. That might be the next move. We can do that. We can run that.
I haven't rage quit a game in 10 years probably, and I rage quit college football.
Quitter.
And I wasn't sure how serious I was, but the more time away from it, you would think you would be like, you would
never
soften
going
up.
back.
Yeah, but like you would think I would be like, oh, I'm not really that mad about it. No, I'm still mad about it. Like,
we got what, 8 years out of it?
Yeah, we did 8 seasons on one game, and I'm sure we'll find our way back to it. I'm definitely gonna get the new one.
By the time the new one, when the new one comes out, we're back to even. We're starting all over. We're doing it.
I'm only good at recruiting. I can't win championships. But yeah. So we'll. My favorite thing on those games, though, dude, is they have a my GM mode where
I haven't played a wrestling game in forever, but
so it's kind of like NBA 2K, but they have like a My GM mode where you take over one of the shows. And you have to sign and trade talent and put shows together every week and put PLEs together and get your matches right and create your rivalries and try to get create buzz and all this stuff. And it is addictive. I lost a lot of hours when I first started.
So is that multiplayer though, or is it just?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm all in. I need something to compete with you against, so I'm doing it. Let's do it. I'm all in.
Yeah, well, the visuals from this year look significantly better than last year too, and last year's were good. So, yeah. So I'm actually pretty terrible at the game. I get beat a lot. I'm not very good at it, but it's fun. It's always fun.
Well, I don't know how we're gonna sim everything anyways. Ain't we?
For the most part, on the GM side, definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
you can play them, or you can watch them, or you can just sim them. And I ended up just simming them because all I care about is just beating everybody else. I just want better ratings and more money.
Yeah, that's what we're fighting for. Let's do it.
Yeah. So if that happens, I'm sure there'll be some wonderful trash talk coming. So, but yeah. So as far as me, I'll be doing my thing. I'll be over on. I'll be writing for Cover Price as I do every week. So you can look out for that on the Shaker Show on Thursday. I had a very weird TMNT book pop up this week on the Shaker Report. It was a book that I think maybe only single-digit copies exist, and by single-digit, it might only be like 3. It's insane. It was the first ever documented sale of that book ever, and it was by somebody who used to work at Mirage, and it was a book called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Food Pyramid Adventures, and they worked with the USDA and the University of Massachusetts in 1993 to create this book to push the food pyramid, which had just came out in 1992. The food pyramid, right? And so like the idea is that the turtles are fighting Bebop and Rocksteady, and they're getting their butts kicked because they didn't eat a balanced breakfast. And in comes the food pyramid to teach them all about this. And somebody bought that book raw, very fine, for $300 this week. That is a steal.
300?
300.
We need to find the other 2 then.
That is nothing for a book like that.
Yeah.
It's just nothing because there was a letter to a person at University of Massachusetts. This is how much research I had to do on this, but there was a letter to a person at the University of Massachusetts that they were working with on this game. I mean, on this book, and saying that, hey, we're getting ready to start printing it and everything. There is no documentation that it was ever released, that it was even ever really printed, and it was sold by an ex-Mirage employee. So I don't know.
This is a raw copy, I'm assuming.
Raw copy. There are no graded copies. This book is a ghost. Doesn't exist.
We got to find the other two.
Yeah, I've been like, that's what I'm saying. There could be some copies, but if there were, you would have seen one selling before 2025 for a book that was released in 1993.
They've been spread across the corners of the earth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like, this is a true, like people always talk about, oh, that's a Grail book. That's a Grail.
There has to be 4 of them. There's 4 turtles, so they should at least thought that through. There's got to be 4.
This is a true Grail book. I mean, this thing is a ghost.
We should try to contact the person who bought it.
Yeah.
And see what they're doing with it.
Yeah. Because I hope they know the kind of deal they got. I hope they didn't feel like, oh, I might have spent too much on that. Hey, if you're listening, you didn't spend too much on that.
Yes, you did, and you'd like to give a deal to us. So.
Yeah, you'll be lucky to get 150 out of it. Like,
you think you know what you got, but we know what you got.
Oh my God! So yeah, that was a crazy book. That's my favorite thing about the Shaker Report is you never know what you're gonna get. It's literally it's the Forrest Gump of comics. So you have no idea what you're gonna walk into when you go and look at the sales for the week and you see these kind of books popping off. You know, there are books that you don't even realize exist, and this book is literally never sold. And it was a fun thing to write about. I was really happy that I ended up getting that book. And so the Shaker Report, the show's on Thursday. They cover 10 of the 13 or 14 or 15 that we have on the report, and then the report comes out on Friday. It is free on Cover Price. You can read it at coverprice.com. So that's what I typically am writing on every week. You'll see me popping in and out on social media. You can find me at TrekWars Comics on Instagram, and you can find my guy over here at rebel.recess on Instagram. My man is back. He is posting. He is putting up pictures of comics. It's great.
We're posting everything, and then when I get in this GM mode with Travis, we might be posting that too.
Oh my God, it's gonna get so hilarious.
We might have to stream that.
Yeah, that one might be a stream. So all that to say that we got a lot going on, a lot coming up. So feel free to reach out to us. Let's chat. Let's have some conversations. I am planning on doing another giveaway very soon. I have a stack of Absolutes themed stuff over here that it's just taking up space, and so. I am absolutely looking forward to doing another giveaway very soon, like we did with the all-in signed copy of DC All-In Special #1. So keep an eye out for that. We'll put that up on social media. But otherwise, guys, thank you as always for listening. We appreciate all the support. Everybody has been super positive. Feel free to drop us a like, a comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Come back next week, and we're going to be talking some more. Probably talk a bit about Absolute Wonder Woman #5. And unless you've got anything else, my man, let's go watch some racing.
Boogity boogity, boys.
Boogity boogity. Peace out, y'all. Have a great week.
Later.